welcome back. As you can tell, we are headed on another hike, and this time it's a new one for me. Actually, I have not been to this mountain. It is Condor Peak, I believe, and so this is quite interesting. This will be a new adventure for me.
Because there are cyclists on this trail.
How's it going?
Like the other one.
Excuse me. Thank you.
Like the one in, what do you call
Lap
it?
1, 2643. Heart rate 107.
Peak.
Average speed 2.2.
So, about 650 feet elevation gained. The main challenge here is not the trail at this first mile. It's mostly like this. We've just been zigzagging. You can still see the car over there. It's just the elevation gain. Well, and that I'm trying to go at a good speed. I guess if I took my time, wouldn't even be all that bad. So, the one thing that caused me to take the risk is that now my feet feel so much better from having switched over to sandals. Of course, there is the risk that the weather could be very, very cold up there. So I did bring my socks. I'm sure they will not be a perfect solution, but better than nothing. Although the altitude here, I think, is about 1,000 feet less, and the temperature so far has not been as cold. It's not warm, it's like in the mid 50s, so not that warm, but not as bad as it was when I started over there. So for all those reasons, I think switching to the footwear that is more comfortable for me was still a good choice. Wow. Yeah. My heart's not even struggling, so I need to stop complaining. Now, what is a concern right now is just this trail is absolutely new to me, so I have no clear idea of how long it will take. I have read other reports say it takes about 9 hours. If that's the case, I will be finishing by in 2.5 hours after dark. That's not good. As I said, I can handle an hour. 2, especially on a new trail. I mean, I'll handle it. I don't want to make it sound like I'm going to die or anything. It's just going to suck because I'm going to have to go doubly slow. Wow. Feel tired, but my heart rate is saying that nope, I'm doing fine. I can even go for a little jog. So let's kick up the intensity a little. Remember on my other hike, well, I need to compare it mile for mile though, but I'm pretty sure that on the second from miles 1 to 2, which is where I'm at here, my heart rate was somewhere like in the 108, 110. And here, so I was looking, I was barely crossing 100. I'm at 105 right now. My whole point is to more or less maintain an intensity similar, so that my pace will be at the highest it can be, so that I don't get too much darkness. Rather than 2.5 hours of darkness, maybe I can get an hour and a half of darkness. That's already an improvement, because that hour and a half is really only about 45 minutes, because the last 45 minutes after sunset, because I'm counting sunset, 45 minutes after sunset, there's still some light. So,
Lap 2, 24 minutes. Heart rate 102. Average speed 2.3.
I think we're at about the same speed we were for Cucamonga, which at least is not bad. I was getting ahead of the game for the first 3 miles, I think, or 4. It was after that I started to slow down dramatically. Let's hope that doesn't happen here.
Lap 4, 22:27. Heart rate 114. Average speed 2.5.
Okay, good. As you can tell, my time is pretty good. That was because from 2 to 3, it was actually pretty easy as far as hikes go. So I was able to jog a little. This 3 to 4, a little more challenging. Just the last part. The first half of that 3 to 4 was actually similar to the other one. So I jogged it a little. That last part though, oh. So remember, if you think about it, it's 8 miles to the peak. So we're halfway to the peak, or a quarter of the way through the hike. But more importantly, 8 miles and a little over 4,000 feet in elevation gained. So let's just round it to 4,000. That means that we should be doing about 500 feet per mile. So far, I'm at 1,800. Means I'm 200 under, which means at some point later, I'm gonna have to pay for that, the steeper climb. As I understand, I think it's the last 2 miles, which is part of why I'm trying to get ahead of this early, so that once I'm there, the slowdown will not be fatal. That this trail is not as difficult as Cucamonga, because most of it is this kind of dirt. There are some parts that have a little bit of rocks in them, but nothing like Cucamonga, and definitely nothing like Iron Mountain.
Lap 6, 20:48. Heart rate 113. Average speed 2.5.
Okay. But the problem is, of course, I'm 300 feet under and only 2 more miles to go. Well, 2.5, but still. Because I'm guessing it's like 8.5. Anyway, that's already scaring me. So let's adjust it. Pretty soon, I'm gonna hit Well, for 42, what is that? 7, 8, 9, 10. That's 2,500 feet more to go. So in a way, I'm only halfway up. Oh my God. Also, as you've noticed, the past couple of miles, it has been completely clouded to where it was a little misty or drizzly. That went away now, but it did wet a lot, so. Ooh. Well, now which way do we go? Keep going straight. I can't even see a mountain. Can't see anything, so no idea. I'm merely following technology.
Lap 7, 27:28. Heart rate 115. Average speed 2.5.
That one was a change from the other one. So, but it looks like we still got more punishment because it looks like we still have almost 1,000 feet and only 1 mile to do it. I guess I've got no point to complain. I've done this before. I've done 1,000 feet on cactus to clouds. A lot of those were 1,000 feet. But each hike has different characters. Iron Mountain, if I'm not mistaken right now, was shorter than Wilson or Cucamonga, and yet it felt tougher. Up to this last part, the trail was actually pretty easy to follow. It's here where I guess it shouldn't be too complaining because technically it's not that hard. Just keep going up. Well, yeah, but if you try to go up through a part that is not trail, you're gonna have a bad time. These are little desert urchins. That's what I'm going to call them. Desert urchins. This damn thing is teasing me. It's not so bad. The elevation gain anymore. But I keep thinking I'd reach the top, but no. It's got like another 5 feet, another 10 feet. Ah! Is that it? Yeah. Whoa. Unbalanced rock. Oh my God. There we are. And it's only 5440. Wow, it felt more than that. Unfortunately, we don't get to see much today. We only get the pleasure, I don't know if I call it pleasure, but the satisfaction of knowing we made it. Okay, let me take a little break just to take some pictures, and then let's get out of here. See how much darkness we can avoid. Okay, so I'm about 10 miles, and as you can tell, I'm kind of jogging my way down. Although, actually, I just reached the part that was, this part's a little more dangerous than where I was, where I did the last mile, which was much nicer. So I think I'm gonna have to slow down a little. The only thing that is a little sad is that up here I've mostly gotten clouds, so I don't really get to see much. So I'm gonna have to come back here when the skies are blue so I can see what. I didn't get to see the view from the peak. Excuse me. But then this place is probably quite punishing during the warmer times. Since it looks like a desert, I'm guessing this place will probably burn you up. So I'll just need to remember to bring lots of water. Today, I didn't even think I brought maybe a liter. And in all honesty, I might not even finish it. The last hike at Cucamonga, 14 miles, I brought 2 600 milliliter electrolyte bottles. I only finished one. Plus, I was peeing all over the place. I think the cold weather makes you pee more. There's something about that formula that doesn't make sense to me, so maybe I'm wrong. That is, okay, pee more, yeah, but you're not exactly gonna like what? Are you gonna go into a negative fluid balance? Your body still maintains a certain fluid balance. Peeing more just means you had more liquid to pee, so that seems a little curious too. So, does cold weather make you pee more? I'm sure there's plenty of people who may argue that point, but like I said, you're supposed to have a certain balance. Or maybe water actually, or maybe cold weather actually makes you maybe it affects your water balance in your body downwards.
Lap 11, 20:04. Heart rate 105. Average speed 2.3.
Yeah. So, I'll meet you in another mile or so. I made it. I am at the last mile. As you can see the parking over there. And it is sunset. Not that you can tell from here, but yeah, it is at least sunset time. So I have 1 mile to go. The hardest mile. Because you know you only have 1 mile to go. But at least I won't need my flashlight. Because even if I walk, and I think I'm just going to walk the rest of this mile. That'll be a 30-minute mile. It'll get a little dark, but not enough to matter. For the video, it will. So, but yeah, that's what I thought I'd. One thing that I found kind of interesting right now is that the idea that I was thinking about how I would go hiking with my students, and I really have to give them credit for joining me and testing themselves. Because when I was their age, I didn't want to do that. I was a fat sack of shit. Sorry, but I really was. In that I was lazy, not athletic at all. Nobody would have guessed the amount of exercise that I would end up doing as an adult. Nobody. That's all my friends from high school would be so surprised. I wasn't athletic in high school. I was not athletic in life. Although, and that's what I was going to say also, I have to remember that the world has changed. I say this because when I signed up, when I was going to turn 18, I took the Marines test, where they test you for your physical fitness and stuff. And I passed it with only one weakness, and that was pull-ups. I think pull-ups I was only able to do 3. And I'm not sure. I think I passed though, just barely. Because I think they required at the time. I'll look up the standards. The thing is, they've changed. As a matter of fact, they've lowered them. As I understand, they've lowered them, and even lowering them now, most students cannot meet them. So as lazy and as much of a sack of shit I was, that doesn't really bode well for your typical youngster today. I'm not saying that, by the way, to blame the youth or to make them responsible. You do have some responsibility. We all do. I had responsibility for my stuff. But the environment has a lot to do, and we often ignore it. We treat it like fishes treat water, like just a natural thing. And this could not be a big influence, could it? A lot of students today there's so many ways in which schools and people just don't. I mean, that's a whole long discussion, and there's no point in me going over it. All of you probably are well aware of the many, many points. My focus, even if I did, would be on the aspect of metabolic syndrome, diabetes, and fitness. Because the reason I said that is because I still remember, even though I was lazy, because my parents worked, like they were just absolutely obsessed with work. I had to walk to school. And very often I had to walk back from school. When I was in high school, at least until I got a car, I had to walk to the bus stop. Doesn't sound like much, but remember, most schools, just to the bus stop was a half mile away. And then to get off from the bus stop and go home, that was another quarter mile. So it's 3/4 of a mile. You know, in an average day, just the busting was 1.5 miles. Then, of course, walking around campus, another 1.5 miles. So I still averaged about 3 miles a day, which is more than most people. That's what I'm saying. Today, students get bused. Heaven forfend that a kid go out to the park by himself. I used to do that all the time. And what's really silly is things were far more dangerous back then, and they still let us out. Things are 10 times safer today. No one's getting let out. Anyway, I was lazy. I didn't like hiking as a kid, as a teen. I didn't like it. My students did, and they challenged themselves. Which way is it? I think it's this way, because the parking lots and everything are over there. Yeah. So, when these things seem outrageous to you, there's times when they seem outrageous to me too. Just a couple of days ago, like I said, I ran Calvary loops at a heart rate that I thought was going to kill me. But I did it because once I was committed to the pain, and once I let the drill instructor take over, he just pushed and pushed and pushed until I nearly collapsed. The pain acquires a different meaning. Rather than being torture, rather than being agony, intolerable, that pain, like a hot habanero pepper that you wanted to eat, you knew it was going to burn your mouth up. You knew nothing was going to taste normal for a while after that. But you bite into it. Oh! But there's a reason you did it. And you are just tasting it. It's burning you. But you got a purpose. Your purpose is stupid, but you got a purpose. It's the same thing with all of this. So if you see what I do, if you see the struggles and it just seems outlandish to you, realize that maybe not, but maybe you need to give yourself that reason for the suffering. And start with a little, because sometimes also, maybe you've suffered, or you're suffering in other things. And any kind of suffering just sounds absolutely stupid. Like I said, just try something small, suffer a little. The example of the habaneros. Certainly wouldn't give a beginner that. You know, I might give them the nacho jalapenos. You know, that stuff. Hell, I'll put that on a birthday cake. But I know plenty of people who will be like, or I don't know, flaming hot Cheetos. A couple of my nephews actually think that flaming hot Cheetos are really hot. So that's why I say that.
Lap 15, 1916. Heart rate 97. Average speed 2.5.
So, as you can tell, we're getting pretty close to the end here. So, I hope that at least this last point that I gave you makes you think. Challenge yourself. I always tell you, challenge yourself. But realize also, I didn't like them. I didn't like hiking either. I didn't like running because other people forced me to do it. One day, I went and tried it myself. I didn't like it then. But I also had reasons. I believed that it could help me lose weight, which it doesn't, but I said before, it doesn't help you lose weight, but it does help you keep from gaining weight. So it's great for health. I will never stop exercising now that I know. So give yourself reasons and then savor that suffering. Just a little. You know, if jalapenos are still too hot for you, some pepperoncinis. You know, the ones that they sell at the hot dog stands. Those might. I wouldn't say bell peppers because bell peppers are absolutely... Are we? Yes. Because bell peppers are absolutely without heat. Unless somebody has figured out a way to make them hot. But my whole point is start out small, believe in the struggle, and savor the suffering. And perhaps then you will join the rest of us in this world where suffering can be good when you choose it. I have people who tell me about they're amazed at my hikes and they're like, I would never go on a hike like that. If you dragged me out, I would shoot you. It's like, oh, you never need to worry about that. I'd never take you. I've never taken a single person on a hike who didn't want to and who wasn't aware of the fact that they were going to struggle, they were going to suffer, they were going to hate themselves. If they're not ready for that, I don't take them. I don't force anyone. I don't make anyone go. Never will, for this very same reason. But for that same reason, I know that it is normal, by the way, that most people will not do these things. They will not join me. And so sometimes that's why it's so lonely that, you know, I'm by myself here. Oh, I like it too. I like being by myself, but sometimes it is lonely. And this is why I appreciate people like my students. Sometimes other people that I've actually gone on hikes with. There was another guy who I went on a couple of hikes with and went on an overnight camp with. I love that because these are people who have discovered that when you believe in your suffering, you discover new things. You'll push the boundaries. If you ever tell me, oh, I admire what you do, but I wouldn't do it. I know, that's the normal response. You don't need to tell me that. I would be more surprised by somebody saying, wow, I like that, and I want to do that one day. I can't yet, but I'll tell you what, watch me next year. That would inspire me. Okay. So, we are at the end of our hike here. As you can tell, we're only a few hundred feet away. And so, I honestly think this hike was definitely a success. First of all, I made it in time for the sun setting. Oh my God! These steps. Oh, it is so silly. These steps should not be punishing me like this. They are regular steps, or maybe not, maybe they're 10 inches, but still, they should not be so hard to descend. Come on, I've just been walking so many miles. This should be easy. So we are out. Ah. Okay. So here we are. Our hike is over. As I said, I really do think it was a success. We made it in time. We discovered a new hill, a new hike. And this hike wasn't as difficult as others. Although I always push myself, so right now, trust me, it feels like it was killing me. But my time will tell you that, no, this was easier than the others. So it's a very good recommended hike for someone who wants to try high mileage, but may not feel ready for San Gorgonio. This was good. The preparation for the cold. Well, I guess I should have realized, since it's only 5,800 feet, as it says, it wasn't going to be super cold. So that's good. I now think it's time for me to rest. Call it a day. And until next time, don't forget to challenge yourself. Give yourself a reason for the suffering. Y sabore.